We were attacked by our own creations, the Neo Sapiens. We are the Exo Squad.
You remember the Exo-Frames, the explosions. The idea that this was just another Saturday morning cartoon, but it wasn't. Because somewhere along the way, Exo Squad stopped behaving like a kids' show. The battles didn't reset, the losses didn't disappear, and the war never really ended when the episode did. At the time, most of us didn't have the words for it. We just knew it felt heavier than everything else on TV. Years later, it's easier to see why. This wasn't an accident. It was the result of decisions that were never meant for children. Left in, anyway. Buried inside this series are choices and compromises that most viewers were too young to notice. Consequences that took years to understand. Until now. Let's start with number 10, the one that almost killed everything before it began.
Everybody, back to the shuttle, now!
54, 53.
Number 10, the name change that almost killed everything. A trademark dispute nearly buried the show before anyone saw a single frame. Lawyers came knocking in 1993. Universal scrambled before deadlines expired. Playmates Toys had already finalized something massive, something they couldn't reverse. Those Exo-Frame action figures sitting in warehouses ready to ship almost became courtroom evidence instead of toys. Instead of the merchandise that funded everything, the production hung by a thread. The toy deal was the only thing keeping certain doors open. Without it, everything stopped. Not delayed, stopped. Trademark battles can erase years of work in a single lawsuit. But that's not even the darkest part. Not even close.
It is time to crush the pirate menace once and for all!
Number 9. Humanity built its own executioners. The Neo Sapiens weren't alien invaders. That would have been simpler. They were created, engineered for one specific purpose. Mars and Venus needed terraforming, dangerous work, deadly work. Humans needed workers who wouldn't complain, who couldn't refuse. Every battle in this series traced back to that first decision. The show never let you forget who started this, who created the conditions, who built the machines that eventually turned against their masters with calculating precision. For Saturday morning television aimed at children, that's uncomfortable territory. We built them. We gave them consciousness. Then we treated them like property. And what happened next was inevitable. What happened next was earned. The question wasn't if, the question was when.
Wait! Has anyone forgotten what war is like?
Number 8. The revolt before the revolt. Phaeton's uprising wasn't the first attempt, wasn't even the second. 50 years earlier, something violent erupted across the colonies. The historical record calls it the first Neo Sapien revolt. Terran forces crushed it, systematically, without mercy. The aftermath brought minor improvements, better treatment, just enough to delay what was coming. Phaeton's generation remembered everything. The defeat, the broken promises, what happened to revolutionaries who moved before the moment was right. The show depicted a powder keg sitting in the sun. Humanity kept adding pressure, kept ignoring every warning sign. History was building towards something that couldn't be stopped, and the fuse was already burning.
Man, this could be bad for my image.
Airlock bay secured.
Number 7. The anime DNA nobody expected. Forget everything you knew about American Saturday morning fare. The creators embraced something revolutionary for 1993. Japanese anime influences. Bold storytelling techniques that networks usually rejected. This decision unlocked possibilities that contemporaries couldn't touch. Serialized plots that carried consequences across episodes. Real romance. Moral complexity without reset buttons. Characters who evolved instead of returning to factory settings every week. Other shows reset to status quo every episode. Safe, predictable. Exo Squad built something sprawling, something that demanded you remember what happened last week, what choices characters made and couldn't take back. The influence showed everywhere. The mecha designs borrowed from Japanese animation, the pacing followed different rules, and especially the willingness to let heroes fail, to let them make mistakes with permanent consequences. American animation hadn't attempted this before. Japanese storytelling plus American production created something unprecedented. But consequences have a way of multiplying.
Where are the others?
Yuri's gone.
Number 6. The character who couldn't stay dead. Alec de Leon's fate became a battleground between creative vision and executive control. The creators planned for de Leon to die during Mars's destruction, a permanent sacrifice that meant something. Universal executives vetoed this hard, so the writers killed him on the moon instead. Then something strange happened. They immediately resurrected him in a Neo-Mega synthetic body, half machine, half something else entirely. This tug of war reveals how invested the studio was. De Leon's journey, marked for death, saved, killed anyway, reborn as something different, created one of animation's strangest arcs. The Neo-Mega resurrection raised questions nobody wanted to answer, about identity, about consciousness. Death was negotiable in this universe, could be bargained with. So was something else, something more fundamental. But they never explained what that meant.
My brother's name was James.
Number 5. Those Exo-Frames were the real heroes. Let's be honest about what made Pulse's race. JT Marsh led Exo Squad with courage, but the Exo-Frames themselves captured imaginations in ways human characters couldn't. These powered exoskeletons served dual purposes: combat vehicles for mobility, reinforced armor for protection. Pilots became walking tanks. The entire series was named after this technology, not after the squad, not after the hero. Every kid wanted to climb inside one. The designs balanced plausibility with coolness perfectly. Playmates knew exactly what they were selling. Heroes are great. Heroes inspire. Giant weaponized suits are legendary, and they became central to the show's darkest moment.
Acknowledged. Okay, people. Let's fall back to the shuttle.
Number 4. Phaeton's clone created an impossible question. Defeating the villain wasn't the end of the nightmare. Phaeton orchestrated humanity's near extinction with calculated brilliance. His uprising succeeded because humanity was distracted, looking in the wrong directions while the real danger assembled. But here's the twist that haunted the final episodes. After his death, Terrans discovered something in a hidden facility. Something impossible. Phaeton's clone. Perfect genetic copy. Suddenly, victory felt hollow, incomplete. What do you do with a genetic copy of history's greatest monster? The clone hadn't committed crimes, hadn't made choices yet, hadn't hurt anyone, but he had Phaeton's mind, Phaeton's potential, Phaeton's capacity for strategic genius and calculated cruelty. Kill the innocent copy before he becomes dangerous? Imprison him forever for crimes he didn't commit? Let him go free? The show lobbed this at young viewers without warning. No easy answers, no moral guidance, no reassuring conclusion. The questions linger decades later, still unresolved, and the moral complexity was just beginning.
I pledge the full support of the Martian Commonwealth in this effort.
Number 3. War actually looked like war. This show refused to sanitize combat. Characters died in battle, not off-screen. Actual deaths with names you recognized. Military operations featured reconnaissance missions, strategic planning that took time, real tactics borrowed from military doctrine. Psychological trauma received genuine exploration. Characters broke under pressure, made mistakes under stress, carried scars that didn't heal. Veterans watching with their kids probably did double takes. The tactical detail was specific. The acknowledgement of fear was honest. The absence of cartoon invincibility was striking. This wasn't war as adventure. This was war as tragedy, as something that breaks people, as something with costs that compound. Casualties had names, had backstories, had families waiting. That changed everything about how the show felt. And somehow, it got even darker. Went places other shows wouldn't touch.
I have no wish to live.
Number 2. The heroine nobody planned for. Lieutenant Nara Burns wasn't supposed to matter this much. She started as a capable squad member, background character with a few lines. But as the writers developed Season 2, something shifted. Her arc expanded in ways nobody anticipated. The culmination surprised everyone. Nara Burns killed Phaeton himself. The show's primary antagonist, eliminated by a character whose central role evolved organically. Not because executives demanded it. The writers admitted this wasn't pre-planned, wasn't in the original outline. The story took them somewhere they hadn't mapped. Nara's journey from supporting player to the person who ends the war represents spontaneity at its finest. She became a fan favorite through sheer story logic, not through corporate mandate. Sometimes the story knows better than the outline. But her victory led to something unexpected, something that changed everything. And that led directly to the biggest betrayal.
Have you ever known happiness, JT Marsh?
Not since I met you.
Number 1. The alien cliffhanger that still stings. The final episode delivered triumph and relief, then delivered cruelty. After liberating Earth, after defeating the Neo Sapiens, JT Marsh encountered something absolutely terrifying. Something that made every previous threat seem manageable. An unknown alien race, ancient beyond measurement, powerful beyond understanding. The planned third season would have forced Terrans and Neo Sapiens to ally against these insectoid extraterrestrials. Former mortal enemies becoming desperate allies facing extinction. It was brilliant setup for redemption. Then, cancellation arrived. Corporate takeovers ravaged production companies. Exo Squad got shuffled to increasingly terrible time slots until ratings collapsed. 52 episodes of careful world building ended with a cliffhanger that will never resolve. Questions that will never get answers. 30 years later, fans still wonder what those aliens wanted, how the Alliance would have functioned, what battles remained. The story ended before it finished, and nobody got closure.
This story was what you call a joke.
A very bad joke, Marcella.
Bonus fact: the 4 a.m. death sentence. Here's the corporate betrayal that ended everything. Despite growing popularity, Exo Squad fell victim to industry consolidation. Larger networks swallowed production companies whole. The show's reward for quality storytelling? Increasingly terrible time slots designed to guarantee failure. Imagine being a dedicated fan in 1995, setting alarms for 4 a.m. broadcasts just to watch new episodes, just to see what happens next. The network wasn't trying to find audiences anymore. They were creating conditions for cancellation, building the statistical justification they needed. By the time ratings cratered, executives had their numbers ready. Great shows don't always die from lack of love. Sometimes they're murdered by spreadsheets, by decisions made in boardrooms by people who never watched a single episode. Sometimes they're killed because they don't fit the new corporate vision. Exo Squad gave us something genuinely rare in animation, a cartoon that respected its audience enough to challenge them. It tackled slavery and genocide and identity, heavy themes wrapped in gorgeous mecha action and serialized storytelling years ahead of its time. The anime influence, the character deaths that mattered, the unresolved alien cliffhanger. We didn't just watch Able Squad fight battles, we watched them lose friends, question orders, confront humanity's worst impulses, process trauma and fear and doubt. That's heavy lifting for any medium, let alone Saturday mornings between cereal commercials. So which fact surprised you most? Drop it in the comments below. And remember, pilots, keep your Exo-Frames charged, keep your 6 covered. The Neo Sapien threat may be over, but those aliens are still out there, still waiting in the darkness, still coming. Able Squad out.
A race of artificially created humans, led by Phaeton.